I hope last week you watched Deacon Jerry's devotional because he talked about the healing by Jesus Christ. And when I listened to it, I'm gonna go on his coattails from last week. The first thought that I had when he talked about healing in Jesus Christ was the anointing of the sick. And it reminded me of a story. I had a friend many years ago that passed away. And he did not belong to the Catholic Church, but the church he belonged to, the elders came together, the members of the church came together and prayed over him. But he subsequently died. And our mutual friend was part of that group that prayed over him, and he has always struggled with the fact that this man died even though they prayed over him. The best research I can do lets me know that all Christian faiths rely on James 5:14 for their anointing, their healing. James 5:14 says, "Is anyone among you sick? He should summon the presbyters of the church, and they should pray over him and anoint him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of the faith will save the sick person, and the Lord will raise him up. If he has committed any sins, he will be forgiven." I would say that my friend who was part of that praying group probably took those verses literally. By giving this devotional, I was able to pull out my books from formation so it has become a benefit. And it's a book on the sacrament. The sacrament of the anointing of the sick has 3 and possibly 4 things that it can do for the person who is either sick or aging. And the first one is to bring them comfort and strength. When a person is sick, they're sick not just physically, but they're sick spiritually as well, or quite often they are. And receiving that sacrament, the anointing sacrament, gives them strength spiritually. They need that strength spiritually because they resist the temptations of the devil. And if they are at the point of death and receive the anointing of the sick, it's at that moment that the devil realizes he has one last opportunity to capture that person's soul and cast him into damnation. And once that decision has been made, it's an eternal decision. So to receive the anointing of the sick brings comfort as well as strength. The other thing that it does is it unites us with Christ. We have heard, we know that we're supposed to offer up our and I've had a lot of conversations out in the parking lot, in the vestibule, out in the yard, on the street about suffering and offering it up to Christ, and it's a hard concept to understand. One of the Vatican II documents says that the sacrament of anointing unites the sick with Christ's self-offering for the salvation of all, so that they too can participate in the redemption of the world. That to me is clear. When I offer my suffering, I participate in the redemption of the world, just as Christ offered himself up for the redemption of the world. One of the things that happens in the anointing of the sick is forgiveness of sins. There is a reconciliation that happens during anointing of the sick. And that's the reason that a deacon cannot perform anointing of the sick. Only a priest can because of reconciliation. But the forgiveness of sins, remember I started by saying it's not just a physical sickness. Our soul, our spirit is sick as well. And so when our sins are forgiven, our soul is healed. It's like a balm, a salve for our soul. The last thing that it may do is physically heal the person. And while it doesn't always heal the person, me. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again right here and now. Crucified on the cross. If he had not suffered, there would have been no resurrection. If there had been no resurrection, there would be no salvation. So while Christ suffered and even questioned it, he asked his Father, if this cup could pass, please let it, but not my will, your will be done. If we're to be imitators of Christ, we have to believe that our suffering is receive the sacrament of anointing if you're going to go in for a surgery. Receive the sacrament member if they're at the moment of death. Receive the sacrament of anointing if you are elderly. And I don't know exactly what elderly is. I'm not going to sit here and try to call that. But understand that as we get older and get closer to death, I know there are some people who say, I'm ready to go meet my Maker. And that may be the time. Powerful sacrament. Please do it. God bless you.